Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to review for you the CSB, the Christian Standard Bible, verse by verse reference edition. And I'm going to go over the top 5 things that I like about this Bible, the 3 things that I wish would change. I have a suggestion for Holman, and then just, my recommendations. But this is the box. I wanted to show you real quick. This is the box that it comes in. Really beautiful box, really sturdy. It is one of those. It's not a clamshell box, but it's one that you open and you close. I got it from Lifeway. Okay, the top 5 things I like about this CSB verse by verse. The first thing is that this edition is beautifully designed. The layout is really well done. I think it looks elegant and it looks classy. Look at this, it's really nice font and have these little, I don't know what you call that, little flower things. It's really elegant and it's also easy to read, and that's really because of a number of things. It's super readable. Part of that is the line matching. A good portion of that really is the line matching. I don't know if you can see that. There's line matching. The print on the type is really bold. It has nice dark print, which makes it very, very readable. Another thing about the layout is that these little red accents, it's on the book title, it's on the chapter number, it's on the verse number. On this New Testament page, it also has that red color, that dark red color. So really wonderful layout. This also has 10-point type, which as a 46-year-old man, this is really helpful for me. I could do with 9. I can't do with 8.5. 9 is really at the bottom, but a 10-point, 11-point type Bible for me as a 46-year-old is really, really helpful. And then the other thing about the layout that I love is that the cross-references, I know a number of ESV Bibles do this, the cross-references are over to the side and then the footnotes are at the bottom, which means they're out of the way, right? So if you wanted a good reading Bible, just a reader Bible, this is a nice, clean layout. So number 1, what do I like about this? Beautifully designed layout. Second thing that I like about this also has to do with the layout, but more specifically, it is the verse by verse layout. It is really readable. I think the best verse by verse layout that I've ever seen on a Bible is the Steadfast Handy Size Preacher's Bible, which I had for a few months and then got rid of it. Actually, I didn't sell it, but I traded it in. But that's my number 1 pick. This would be, in terms of a verse-by-verse layout, this would be my number 2 pick. I really love how the verse numbers stick out and it's easy to read. First of all, the verse numbers are in red. It's a different color. And then there's just enough space in here that it doesn't get lost or pulled away so far. It is part of the sentence itself, but it really sticks out. The verse numbers really stick out. I don't know if you could see that. But yeah, I love the readability of this verse-by-verse layout. The third thing that I like about this are the margins are just wide enough. And I'm going to turn to a page where I did some marking. I am not a write in your Bible kind of guy. I want to, but I just write in a journal. I find that to be more convenient. But I really like, what's really attractive about this particular version is that it does have wide margins, but it's not super wide. And to me, it's wide enough. The wide margins are wide enough. Like I said, I don't write much in my Bibles, but I think with this edition, I think I might start writing a lot more. The wide margins are really inviting, but they're not super thick. This is about a 1-inch margin, and you can see I started writing some things in there too. The fourth thing that I like about this is that the maps are not on glossy, obnoxious paper. I'll just show it to you very quickly. It's not a big deal, but to me, I didn't realize if you get a Bible that has maps that are not printed on cheesy, glossy paper, but this is on cardstock. If you get one of those Bibles, man, I don't know, I just appreciate it more that they paid attention to that small detail, which I really appreciate. I do use the maps, and it does kind of remind me of the 80s, those glossy papers, the glossy maps. Nothing wrong with the 80s, I love the 80s. But I prefer maps that are not on cheesy, glossy paper. And then the fifth thing that I like about this, the last thing that I like is, at least, is the cover itself. This goatskin is grippy, it's thick, and it's soft. And that was one of the things that, as I got into premium Bibles, I noticed that some goatskin or some cover bindings, they're slippery and they're sleek. For me, this is a personal preference. For me, I want to be able to feel the texture. I want to be able to grip it. And if I'm preaching from this, I want to be able to hold it with one hand without feeling like it's going to slip out of my hands because it's so soft or because it's so slippery. The goatskin on this is nice. I wouldn't say it's like top of the line nice, but for me, it's just good enough. It's thick, it's soft, and it's grippy, if that's even a word. So those are the things that I like about it. What about the things that I wish would change? Well, number one, the kerning, which is the space in between letters, the kerning on some of these are squished. I'll show you some examples, photos of some of the text that's squished together. That's not really great, but I don't see very much of it throughout the Bible. So yeah, top 3 things I wish would change. Number 1, the kerning is tight and it's really inconsistent, but it's not enough to bother me. For the majority of this Bible, the kerning is well done, beautiful. Second thing that I wish would change are these ribbons. These are thin, cheap feeling. This is not a big deal for me, but I want to give you an honest review here, practical review. These are thin, and you could tell the difference when you jump to another Bible that has nicer ribbons. So kerning is tight, number 1. The ribbons they feel cheap, and the last thing here is that I wish this had notebook paper. I'm not even gonna. Well, yeah, okay. I'll turn to the back. It just has maps in the back. It has a concordance in the back, and it has maps, but it doesn't have line paper. This is not so much a critique, more of a wish. I wish that this had notebook paper. I'm now just starting to write in the backs of my Bibles that have notebook paper, and I love to write the books of the Bible that I finished reading. I like to make that list. I like to put prayer requests in the back there. I like to take notes of the whatever book that I'm reading, and I like to put in like my favorite verses in the back too. So anyway, I just wish it had that. The 3 things that I wish would change are really not a big deal. The reason why it's not a big deal is because there's so many good things about this Bible that I really had to be nitpicky. If there's a word for what I just gave you about the 3 things that I wish would change, they're really nitpicky because this Bible is really, really excellent. There's not much that I would change. Now, here is a suggestion for Holman. Holman, if you are listening, I have a big suggestion for you. I love this layout. I love the way this looks. There's so much about this Bible that I really love. One thing that I wish, or a suggestion for you, what if you took this exact same layout, the verse by verse, same typesetting, same type of font, and then you trimmed out the margins here, squished it down to a 8.5 by 5.5 inch Bible, no margins, just the same exact thing. Just basically take the guts of this, remove the margins, squish it down to 8.5 by 5.5. That would be a fantastic Bible. That would be, for me, like that would be, woo! everyday carry, EDC, take with me everywhere Bible. That size, 8.5 by 5.5 inches. Man, make that happen. I think you've got such a great layout here. You've got such a great thing going on with this verse by verse. Make it portable. Make it 8.5 by 5.5. Man, I would buy 2 of those. I would buy the imitation leather one and the goatskin one. Just a suggestion. So what do I think about this Bible? Well, I already told you, I love this Bible. I have been using this Bible now for a little over a month. And man, I love this edition. This isn't even my main translation. I'm an NASB guy. I've been checking out some really more optimal, they call it optimal or dynamic translation Bibles. And yeah, this isn't even my main translation, but I've been in this Bible, this particular Bible in this translation for over a month now. And there is just so much to love about both this edition and the translation. If you are a preacher and a teacher, and CSB is your main translation, get one of these. 10-point font, verse by verse, that is just ideal for preaching. And even if you're not a teacher or a preacher, if CSB is your main translation, you have to get one of these. I think this is such a high quality, well done Bible. Holman, you got yourself a winner. This is a fantastic Bible. And I think that's it. Thanks for watching. Please hit like and subscribe, and hopefully I can see you in the next video.